how trivial the things you want so passionately truly are. Everyone is different, but everybody wants things passionately. One wants girls, one wants money, one wants drugs, one wants fill in the blank. You know, there's things that people want so passionately, and most of the time they are trivial. They are luxury items. They are not needs and necessities for life. The things people so passionately want, as in, money, there's very few people who are poor, and I mean truly poor, who truly don't have enough food and water to survive. If you have those things, then you have enough, in my opinion. And to want extra, to want more, is a slippery slope, and one of the slipperiest slopes, if you ask me, because you're never content with where you thought you would be content. You invest into a stock and you say, wow, this goes up 2x, I would have, let's say, $1,000. And then a month later, it goes up 2x. But, it's still on the climb. It's going to the moon. It's catabolic. And you think, whoa, what if I could have 2K? And then it crashes and you don't even get the initial thing you wanted because that idea of more crept into your brain, and that idea of more corrupted you, and the thing you thought was going to be, all you wanted, all you needed, you would have pulled out and it would have been an amazing success and you would have been happy, turned into being not enough. And that's just the dark side of wanting more. And the things we so passionately want seem to be more. You know, like I was saying earlier, either if it's more girls, more money, more whatever, more of anything. So you need to be careful of what you so passionately want, because I believe if you look at your life, you will see how trivial those things truly are. You look at people who so passionately want food. They set up whole vacations around, the most popular places to eat, the best food, rated by the best food critics, and in the best countries known for their food. How trivial is food? You should eat to live. You shouldn't live to eat. Food is so trivial. It's just pleasure. And it's one of those pleasures that, because not all pleasure has immense downsides, but food is one of those that, if you're not careful, can have an immense downside. If you give in to food and the pleasure of food too much and you become obese, then you are deteriorating your health. And something that is important and something that is in your control, is not overeating, having self-control. And there's more that comes with overeating than just being overweight. You have a lack of self-control, you have a lack of discipline, you have a lack of doing what you know you need to do because what you want to do is stronger. What your want for something is stronger than your need. And when you have things like that, that is a luxurious situation. If you are able to have needs and wants, or wants like that, then you are in a position of luxury. you know so I highly recommend you to take a look at the things that you so passionately want and ask yourself, is this trivial? Is this something I actually need? Is this something that will improve my life? Or is this something that will deteriorate my life? A lot of people, like I was saying, so passionately want money. But do you have enough money? The answer is not money. There's so many, I mean, I think it's it's almost like beating a dead horse with all the rich people who come out saying that they're not happy and they're sad and they wish they had their youth back. But you just see constantly people in their youth trading their time for money, and all they care about is money. They want to work every single second of overtime. They want to work 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, so they can go buy a $50,000 truck. And, it's got to be diesel, so, the gas is more expensive. And, it's just, when you think about it, it's trivial. It's so trivial. And when you trade your time for money and you spend your money on things, you need to think about how much time you're putting into that. I don't think a lot of people think about the time that they put into buying something. And what I mean by that is if you make $20 an hour, and let's just say $20 an hour after tax, and you want to buy something for $100, you shouldn't see $100. You should see 5 hours of your life. Like, is this worth 5 hours of my life? Did I spend 5 hours of my life doing something potentially I didn't want to do, potentially don't love, so I could obtain this thing? Whatever that thing is. And if you look at it in that way and it adds up and it's worth it to you, then by all means. But you should really look at things, and, like cars and stuff. Same with the truck, people get money and then buy vehicles because they need transportation, but you don't need a Lamborghini to get from A to B. You don't need a $100,000 truck or a $50,000 truck to get to A to B. Having reliable vehicles is nice, I believe. You don't want a money pit that you're repairing all the time, but you also don't need something that is outside of your means and is a luxury item. You can buy base models of cars. You can buy cars that have good gas mileage that maybe aren't the most aesthetically pleasing, but they're safe, they're reliable, and they get good gas. I mean, you got to look at what you're really buying and why you're really buying it. If you buying things for the aesthetic appeal, then you care more about what the world thinks than what you think. And that's trivial. Think about how trivial praise is. You want the praise of people you don't even know. You want the praise of people who can't even uphold and keep their own principles and the own rules they give for themselves. And the praise you obtain from people like that, the next day is not praise. The next day it is hate. The second you mess up, the people who were so quick to praise you one day are the quickest to hate on you the next day. So that's another thing that is so trivial, that you so passionately want. As if a diamond becomes more beautiful by praise being shouted at it. Or vice versa, as if a diamond becomes less beautiful by being belittled. Truly beautiful things don't ask for attention. They're just beautiful in themselves. A tree reaches its potential and grows beautiful because it's what it's made to do. It doesn't seek praise and it doesn't seek to be belittled. It just does what it does because it's supposed to do that. And that's how you should be as a human being. You should just try to unlock your potential because you are a human being. And you should try to do your best because you have one life. And you never know when your day may come. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I have a little lifetime in weeks thing, and it's not filled out completely. Don't mind that, but I think it's a good reminder. I think that whole thing to the bottom down here is 90 years, or like 87. I think 87 years, and that's the average life of a human being, I believe. I actually don't know. I'm probably wrong. But 87 years, and it doesn't look that long. It really doesn't look that long. When you look at your life like that, It doesn't look that long, especially when you think about how fast weeks go by. You got to break it down. And, just, and another thing too, I believe is trivial, is wanting a long life. And, let me explain, because it's one of those things I believe in, but I don't necessarily act upon. But, they say in Proverbs, nothing new under the sun. And Marcus Aurelius would also say, if you've been here for a year, or not even a year, if you've been here for, I don't remember the exact quote, but I'll paraphrase it. If you've been here for a year, you've been here for 100 or 10 times that. There's nothing new. You've seen it all. Obviously, if you're a year old, you don't even have like a rational mind yet. But, if you have a rational mind, you know, if you've been here for a year with a rational mind, you've seen it all. Like they say, history repeats itself. So something like that, wanting a long life, something outside of your control, I want one, but I do believe it's trivial, and I so passionately want it, and that's why I'm not an exception to wanting things so passionately that are trivial. And it's, things, I mean, I'm not perfect, obviously, and I struggle with things, and that's honestly where a lot of inspiration for videos comes, because I struggle with a lot of things, and I'm trying to become better, and there's just things I think about. Like I think about the things I so passionately want that are trivial, and then I make a video. Like in this, for the instance on this. So I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm Mr. Perfect, and I don't want anything that's trivial. I only want the necessities in life. I want a lake house. That's trivial. I mean, it's just the truth. But it doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't mean that you can't move in a direction that gets you away from wanting things that are trivial so passionately. So just keep that in mind when you so passionately are wanting something. When you think you need it, and you think if you don't get it, your life's going to be over. Remember that, and then think, is this trivial? Or is this an actual need, necessity that I should actually passionately want?